At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world.
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Knitting Abroad. My name is Sissy and I'm talking to you from Austria, Vienna. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you again, or maybe that you can see me again. And if you're a new viewer, hello and welcome to our knitting podcast. I say our knitting podcast, you just see me at the moment, because Julia is talking to you before me or a little bit later from Sweden, Göteborg, and we just do the thing together because we are best friends and we are not in the same country, town at the moment. So that's the thing we share together, our passion for knitting, and that's why you are here, obviously. So, hello! Today I'm starting with my finished objects. I'm sorry for my voice, I'm a little bit, I have a cold, so I'm maybe a little bit quieter than the last time. I hope you can understand everything. Finished objects. I have two finished objects. I showed you last time. Nearly finished. The first thing are the socks for my mother. My mom socks, because I mostly all the time have socks on my needles. So these are the socks for my mother. I already showed you. I have some sunflowers. Chop, 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 chop. Not that easy. Should have prepared them, I'm sorry. So I'm not saying something wrong about the yarn. It's Earth Merino sock. The colorway is 2028. I've knitted them on 3mm needles on DPNs. And yeah, the pattern is Hermione's Everyday Socks. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it's just an easy knit I'm doing while I'm driving in the car as a passenger, not driving myself, or while hiking, so they were just flowing off my needles. Although it's not my color, my mother will love them, I know it for sure. Nothing special about this sock, just Hermione's Everyday Socks, a rounded toe, short row heel. So also nothing special here. And yes, they are super soft, they are super cozy, and my mama will love them, I know that for sure. Not yet every end is woven in, but I will do that before I give them to her. That's my first finished object. My second finished object is something very dear to me. It's the, I have to look it up, Beerly bonnet. It's a baby hat. I have maybe redo the ears again, because I saw it on the picture that you have to put the ears not on the top of the head but a little bit more on the front. I've knitted this hat 2 times. Sorry, my cat is coming. I've knitted this hat 2 times because the first time I've knitted that one it was too big. It fitted a 4-year-old boy or 3-year-old boy, so it was really just a big, and I knitted them the second time. But it's really a fast knit, it's really beautiful made, it's so cozy and soft. It's made out of hand-spun yarn from a very dear friend of mine, of my knitting around. And yes, I love it a lot, because this hand-spun was something very, very dear to me, and a treasure, kind of treasure, and I was thinking about, okay, what shall I knit with it? And this baby hat is just perfect. There's also silk in the yarn. I really have to look it up. I think the colorway is Sea Monster, and it's just awesome. And why did they make a baby hat which looks like a bear out of green yarn? Because it should look like a frog hat. That's important. That's a frog hat and not a bear hat. Maybe I should change the name for my project bag. You can find every information from my finished objects and also from my current objects on my Ravelry page. My name is Trujilida, also the same name on Instagram. On Instagram you find me as _Trujilida_. And yeah, you can find every information there, how long it took me to knit it, and what kind of needle size I used, how much yarn I used. You can find everything there, and also if I made something different, if I knitted it different or changed the size or something, then you can just look it up there if you want more information. You also find a lot of information to our podcast on the Ravelry page Knitting Abroad, but that will we'll talk to you later again. So now to the finished objects, our works in progress, and I say knit switch.
Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Knitting Abroad podcast. Again, I'm coming to you from Sweden, Gothenburg, and welcome you to our podcast where we talk about knitting and all the other handcrafted stuff we do. For me, this time it's all about knitting, and I casted on many new objects. But first, I wanted to thank you all for participating in the Buzzsaw Call 2018, which was a knit-along we, as Sissi and me, we did for knitting designs of Susanne Sommer. Today is the drawing of the winners, which is a thing Sissi will do for you. So I say first knit switch to Sissi for the prize drawing.
Prize drawing! I will do the prize drawing first, because why not? Prize drawing for us for our summer knit along. It was Susanne Sommer designs. We knitted together the last 3 months from July to September. It was really, really fun. July, August, September. Yes, 3 months. It was really, really fun, and so I so much appreciate everyone who joined our group and joined our knit along. And yes, thank you a lot for being part of this knit along. And yeah, we have some finished objects, and we have 2 prize drawings today. The first one is from the cheddar thread. I will do this first. And the thing, wrong back. I would do this old way because we don't have that much names to draw from, but there are still some. And the thing is, you should have knitted an Susanne Sommer design in the time I said, and you should have been part of our group on Ravelry Knitting Abroad. That were the rules for the knit along. And the cheddar thread, the one I will get from the name I will get from the cheddar thread, will win a beautiful skein of yarn that Julia will show you, or showed you already. And the winner is of the cheddar thread. Yes, Julia and me are not participating on this prize drawing. I think that's kind of clear. And the winner is Mirja! Awesome! So great! Oh, perfect! Julia will be so happy to send you this, the prize, the skein of yarn. Thank you for participating. You also finished something. So, the second bag I have here will have the FO thread. So, there were just the finished objects in the FO thread, and you could post as much finished objects as you had. But there were only 4 participants. I'm so sorry, one poster was no member of the group. She had 2 finished objects and so beautifully made. I'm so sorry, but that were the rules, and I'm kind of sticking to the rules because that's, yes, I think that's fair. And there are 4 people, again, not looking, promise. And who will get a wonderfully... Okay, that's a really coincidence because it's Mirja again. So you will get a skein of yarn and a wonderful project bag. You made the slice of light, and it was really beautifully made because it was made out of your hand-dyed yarn. So wonderful. Congratulations, Mirja. I'm so happy for you too. Julia and I will figure it out. You will get it all together. I maybe will just bring it to you. Or you just figure it out. So happy. It's just perfect. And really, yeah, like I said, total coincidence. Just that happy. I'm also wearing my finished object. It's my Shusui shrug, and I just love it, love it, love it. It's so cozy, it's so warm, it's perfect, and it was really the perfect start for our podcast, the knit along, and we will do something like that again for sure, promise. Christmas is coming. You can't say that loud enough because everyone knows it already, but it's not even Halloween now yet, but they're everywhere. Christmas cookies. Why? Forget it. But kind of Christmas is coming, and maybe we'll do something like a knit along for that. There are so many knit alongs at the moment, like the drei vom Block, I think. They're making a Socktober, so there's a Socktober. There you have a sock knit along from the Knit Girls. You have a lot of sock knitting going on. That's why I'm not really sure if I should join something of the sock fun there again.
Congratulations to the 2 winners of the Susanne Sommer Knit Along. The yarn is coming from me, and it's an original Swedish yarn from Ullcentrum. So 100% svensk ull. Ull is the Swedish word for wool. And those are 2 wonderful autumn colorways which reminded me of leaves dropping from the trees. So I decided to choose them. And I hope you have a lot of fun because now it's autumn. Also here in Sweden it's autumn. And I think autumn is coming, also the real autumn weather is coming around Europe. So here, autumn colorways just for you. You receive 300 meters of orange and about the same amount of yellow, both times 100 gram. And I hope you have a lot of fun with this. So again, congratulations to you, and the yarn is coming on its way so soon as possible. Now to my finished objects with it is just one, and I have to say it's not really a finished object, as it was a finished object last week, but then I decided to change something. So here it is, my hoodie shawl cardigan. So you can see there are needles in it. Why? Because I decided to knit long sleeves. Here in Sweden, for me, it's as though all the others are running around with not so thick clothes, but I definitely need long sleeves. So I decided to change the design a little bit. As originally from Susanne Sommer, the design is with sleeves that go till here. And as you can see on my Instagram account, it had those sleeves, but then I wore it to my work and I decided long sleeves are a little bit better. So I changed it, and now it's a work in progress again, but I think it counts as a finished object because it was finished in time for a knit along, and it was definitely finished, as you can see on the photo. So here again is the back and the front and the hood and the arms, also the sleeves. Here again a long sleeve, and I definitely loved the design. I loved it that there was no brioche in it, because it was a little bit of as it was not an easy knit because there was so much to do with it, but in the parts, also the parts for itself, those were easy to knit because the body is stockinette and then reverse stockinette. So there was much of TV knitting in this finished object. I love that there is a border which goes round the whole piece, and it is knitted in around the whole piece. So it was very interesting to knit around a whole cardigan. I never did this. It was very interesting. It took a little bit of time because there were so much stitches, but yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, sorry I cannot wear it for you, but it was finished. Now it's not finished. I call it nearly finished object, or was finished, but it's now not finished. I think there is no shortening for that, but I hope you know what I mean. So that was it for finished. So I say knit switch.
To my works in progress. I have a lot of works in progress again. I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time, and I won't show you the things I've showed you last time because yeah, I will talk about them. First, the things I've started, because I started two new things. The first is my April sweater. You can see a lot of it. Today I've tried it on to see if it fits because, long story, it looks like it. It's a top-down pullover, first to the construction. It's a top-down pullover with stockinette on the top and stockinette sleeves, and then you have lace pattern that goes the whole body on the front, on the back, and you do just increases and decreases like raglan decreases, increases on the sleeves, and it fits really perfectly well. I love it so much. And yes, the thing is the lace. I can show you because I made a swatch, of course. Why of course? Because it's really important when you change so much like I did. That's the lace. I hope you can see it. And I think it's a really beautiful a really beautiful stitch definition. And what I changed, that's Aurora, just introducing my cardigan. What I changed the needle size, and it was really a big change for this pattern because my gauge was totally off the gauge that was asked for at the pattern. So, long story short, I had to calculate the whole thing. It's not that hard when you know how to calculate it. It was my first time doing this. My sister helped me, my husband helped me, and the ladies from the Austrian Yarn Club helped me. Thank you again. So it was a team brain thing. And in the end, when you're doing something like that, your pattern looks like that. You have to write down everything. You have to write down all the numbers that you've changed and what they should be and what they are. And that's the hardest thing about this project. I totally love the pattern. It's it's beautiful. It looks really great, and I had it just on a moment, and I'm so amazed about this sweater, and I'm looking forward to have it finished. The yarn is La Bien-Aimée, and it's the Allure. I have to look at, I'm sorry, I think it's the Allure base. It's an alpaca silk cashmere base, so it's so soft, it's so cozy, it's so perfect. I love it. It's more an autumn springy sweater because it's very thin and the lace is you can look through it. And the problem is I am through with the first ball of yarn. That's the first ball of yarn. Aurora, no. Go out of the... Sorry. She's in my box of... I have so much left of the first ball of yarn. And I'm kind of here with the knitting. And I have 2 more skeins. So I'm really scared that I will run out of yarn. I fear I will. So what I'm going to do is I found 2 people on Ravelry who already had bought this yarn or have some leftovers, and maybe I will contact them because I'm not sure if I will get this color way and the base again from La Bien-Aimée at the moment. So we will see what will happen with this sweater in the future. But I love knitting it. That's the first thing about this. What do you see here? I have a lot of stitch markers going around. That's just for me for counting the patterns, because if you are knitting something wrong at the lace pattern, it's very hard if you have to redo the whole row and if you don't know where you made the mistake. So I made just some markers. I marked just some places, I'm sorry, can't find the words. Just marked every fifth repeat of the pattern, something like that. So I don't have to count back the whole row just to the next marker if I made a mistake. So that's, yeah, you can, it's a halfway mindless knitting, so you don't have to count the whole 400 anything stitches all the time. That's the thing, why I have so much markers. Love this one, it's cozy, it's awesome, it's great. Cross your fingers that I will have enough yarn. Hope so, hope so. Second thing, it's the April sweater from Tap. Sorry, again, what's her name? On the wrong side, I'm sorry. It's here. It's Isabel Kramer design. So maybe you know her, and it's really awesome. I love it. So far. My second work in progress, my really second work in progress, is the Buzzsaw from Andrea Murray. I'm knitting this out, that's the right side, out of also again La Bien-Aimée yarn and magpie fibers. It was a kit I approached from La Bien-Aimée's online shop. You got it at the time around Edinburgh Yarn Festival, so around March you got the kit and the yarn, and that's when I purchased it, and I started knitting it, yes, 2 weeks ago. I wanted to do a knit along with Eva again, and she said I will start, and then she was like, oh, I'm kind of nearly finished with, yeah. I haven't even casted on the thing, so she's already finished and I'm at the third section, at the lace section. The light yarn is La Bien-Aimée. It's this. It's really a muted white with speckles. I love it, with brown and pink, turquoise, orange, but it's really muted, it's really beautiful. And the second color is magpie fiber, that's soirée. It's a really dark pink, so perfect for autumn knitting. That's why I started it now. The other colors, I will show you. It's also magpie fiber, it's maroon, no not maroon, harpoon. It's kind of a brownish grey. That's the third color. And the kit was with 2 skeins of La Bien-Aimée. That's the color way in the skein. It looks beautiful, I would say. Really beautiful. There you see the more orange and red pinkish sparkles. Yes, no. Dots. Also kind of very neonish green. It's really funny. I like it. And this kit I got as a whole from the BIME Magpie Fiber, and it's both single merino singles, so no twist there, perfect for a shawl, not so much for a garment. That's the rest of the hand spun from my dear friend. Not sure if I'm allowed to say her name, so for now it's just my dear friend. So just enough left, and yep, hopefully you will see a finished object next time. So far so easy. Just some garter, some brioche where you change the brioche main color. You have side where you increase and the side where you decrease, so that's the decreasing side, and this side is the increasing side. I'm not sure if I like the shape of the shawl. I will see it when it's finished. I love triangles, that's more my kind of shawl design I like to wear, but nevertheless I'm looking forward to finish this. And I have to say, the yarn is not as squishy as the rock sheep yarn I've knitted the Slice of Light with. So it's not that soft, it feels a little bit harder. Really, I would just say harder, but it's not yet washed and blocked, so I will just comment that when it's totally finished. So that much to my bubble shawl. My third work in progress, you already saw 2 times, and I'm very slow on it, very slow on it. It's my mystery knit along, so if you don't want to see it, look away. I can tell you when you can look again. I will tell you when you can look it again. And it's my nerdy mystery knit along roleplay game scarf. And I have to say, it looks so much better on camera than in real life, kind of. I'm not sure why. I really like it on camera. This is the right side. And I'm in the middle of a chart. You maybe can see that because that's becoming a big hound. It looks so awesome. I love it. I already talked about it 2 times. You will have all the information in the show notes if you want to know about the yarn or anything. I'm not making a lot of progress at it because it's not that mindless knitting. It's chart knitting, so you have to watch every round you're knitting. And it's not hard, but you just can't do round, round, round. You always have to look on your charts and always have a look where you are, and don't miscount, because if you're miscounting you have the wrong stitches on both sides because it's double knitting. You have the reverse side which looks just exactly the same, but the other colors, the negative colors kind of. And that's why I'm making not a lot of progress and I'm very slow. I think it's already chapter 5 out and I'm on chapter 2? 3? 2, 3. I'm not sure. 2 or 3. I'm very slow, but I like it. Anyway, it's fun knitting, but I'm very slow on it. The other works in progress, the snitch socks and the leaf blanket, they will stand in the show notes, but I won't show them to you because I'm just not knitting on them at the moment, because it's definitely not mindless knitting and I don't have brain for this stuff, and I really kind of frustrated with the leaf blanket because it's not charted and I tried to chart it already and no, it's so much work and it shouldn't be that much work. It should be more fun than work knitting. So yeah, that's why it's just lingering on the side, but I want to finish it and I will finish it and I'm going to finish it and we will see when. And the second thing is the snitch socks, so they are my only socks at the moment on my needles, and I really don't like it because they also very heavily charted and 2 socks at a time, and I haven't looked at them in the last month, I think, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So no, I don't like them at the moment. So that's all about my my works in progress, and I say let's switch.
back again to Sweden, where I show you my works in progress. First work in progress are my socks, which are living in this wonderful project bag Sissi made for me. And this is a friend project, I say, because the project is living in a bag my best friend made for me, and then the socks are made out of yarn another friend gave to me, and it's very special yarn because it's hand dyed and it's plant dyed. So my friend made this beautiful yarn, yellow, a little bit of blue and purple. So if I reminded correctly, those were onion skins and berries. And the blue one I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, but I totally forgot. The socks are going to be plain vanilla socks, but I have just the cuff now. It's a little bit longer as I'm using to knit it. And the yarn is very special for me because it is, as I said, from a friend of mine, and it was a present before I went to Sweden, and this friend was the one who taught me Swedish a little bit before I went. And that's another thing why the yarn is so special, and it's connected to my friend and it's connected to Sweden where I'm living now. And yeah, it's just special for me. So thank you again for giving me this yarn. There is a lot of love I'm sending to you while knitting all this. Maybe you can feel it a little bit, but yeah, thank you again for this yarn, and I enjoy very much knitting with it. Second work in progress is here, which, surprise, again living in a bag Sissi made for me. Thank you, Sissi. Without you I don't know where I was today. So, and it's the beginning of the Sunset Highway pullover I'm knitting for my niece. And there's not much to show you, and I know it looks a little bit silly because of all the stitch markers, but when I am knitting color work, I like to have the stitch markers at every repeat of the pattern, so I can see that I don't lose stitches. For me it's easier. I know it's a little bit silly, and I think most of you don't need them, but for me it's easier. And so you cannot see much, but this is the beginning, and the sweater is knitted from top down. And here you see two of the color works. If you're not familiar with the design, the design Sunset Highway is from Caitlin Hunter, which is also known as Boyland Knitworks on the interwebs. I'm inserting here a picture of the sweater so that you know what this should become to be. And the color, also the yarn and the colorways, I know you don't knit color work with yarn which is not so rustic and not so sticky, but I want to have a wonderful cozy sweater for my niece. So I chose alpaca silk yarn from Sandnes Garn. So this is the name. The colorways are just numbers, so I'm inserting them here. But those are the two which I started with. And there's going to be this green also for the color work. And the main body is going to be in grey. So there you have it. So I think this is a wonderful combination of colors. And it's so fluffy. I just love it. I know it's not the right choice for color work, but I needed color work in linen, so I think I hope I will manage it. If it's a little bit more important for me that it is cozy, because I want that my niece can wear it and have a good feeling in it. And if it's not going to be perfect, then she at least can wear it at home. And there is it more important to have a good feeling in it. So that was why I chose a yarn which is so cozy, so much cozy as possible. So as you see, I love doing knitting, not the thing you have to, using not the yarn you have to use when you knit projects, because first color work was with linen and second color work is with alpaca silk. But I think I'm doing a good job, although it's not so much, but it's going to grow, and yeah, I hope it will become very cozy and very good looking. And it's a present for my niece, so I hope I'm going to finish it in time for Christmas. And I hope she will enjoy it. So that's for you, my niece. It's going to be fun for me in knitting, and it's going to be fun also, I hope, for you to wear it. Next thing on my works in progress list is a very cool thing, which is living in my Girl So Sheepy project bag with the alpacas on it. And it is a thing my sister, I have two sisters. One sister is 18 years older and one sister is 14 years older, so I call them older and middle sister. So from my middle sister, she sent me a package to knit a cushion, which matches perfectly to my chair I'm sitting in. It's a light blue and my chair is in a dark blue. And it's going to be a cushion for this chair, and it is a really cool knit. It is here you have, it's called Nopper. I just don't know how you call it in English. Then you have a false cable, and then again the Nopper, false cable, Nopper, and it's going to knit, it's going to be knit in flat, and then you sew it together, and then it's going to be a cushion with 3 wonderful buttons in it. And the yarn is yarn which is 70% acrylic and 30% wool, and it's the band says it's the wool for this kit, so I just don't know where it comes from. It is a lot of fun knitting it. It's a little bit more difficult than I expected it, but it's good because when knitting so much stockinette, which I'm doing now for the sock and for the sleeve and the color work is also stockinette, so I have just to pay attention on where I have to wrap the yarn around it, but the pattern is not. So there's not much to think about, different ways to make the stitches. And now that's a thing which is very good distraction for all the stockinette knitting. And I'm very looking forward to have my cushion. So thank you, middle sister. And here we coming for the last work in progress, which is something I don't have to show anything because I just started with the cast on, but I'm inserting the picture of it. I'm going to knit the Jennifer Steinger's arboreal, and I swatched yesterday and started with the cast on today. Then I had to pull back again and start it again, so that's why I don't have to show you something of it. But I'm knitting it with the Icelandic wool I got as a present from my eldest sister, and it's going to be the Jennifer Steinger's sweater, because I wanted to knit the Anna's. Oh my god, I forgot to look it up. It's the Anasha. I wanted to knit the Anasha sweater, and knitted the swatch for it. And then I noticed that my swatch is going to be far too big with the recommended needle size, and that was why I chose to look around what she has also what are her other designs. And then I found a Boreal, which was on my favorite list, and I noticed that my swatch is totally fitting in the gauge for the DK sweater with the Arboreal, and now I'm knitting the Arboreal. So again, knitting a Steinger sweater, but not the Anasha I wanted to knit, but the Arboreal, which is also a very cool design from her. Picture is going to be inserted, and yeah, so that's the last work in progress I have to show you. And the last things I wanted to show you are two things which were in the mail, and I'm proudly presenting, ta-da! I am finally an owner of sock blockers. I waited so long time. I wanted to buy them on the Syfestivalen last month, but there were no shops who sold them, and so I was shopping them online, and now they're here, and I love that they have hearts which I can look through. And yeah, sock blockers. I have finally sock blockers, so now I just have to knit another pair of socks to show them on the sock blockers for you. And the other thing, proudly presenting, ta-da! Finally, I have Chagu needle set, and I just bought the smaller one, and as you can see, there are needles missing, so you see that I'm knitting much at the moment, and those are I bought them because I broke some of my symphonies while casting on for the Sunset Highway and knitting the first round, and I'm not the tight knitter, so it was just because they were a little bit of old, but I don't want it to have this this experience again. So I thought, okay, just do it, buy them. And I bought them, and I'm very happy because now I have a needle set from Chagu, which I love to knit in the last few months, and I totally recommend them because their cables are so wonderful because they're not they're staying in form, and that's what you need when you're knitting a piece which is heavy with heavier wool. And so I'm very glad that I bought those, and they coming as there is a small, big, and a needle set where all of them are in. So I bought the small needle set, which has the needles from US 2 to US 8 in it. Those are 2.75 millimeters till 5 millimeters, and if you buy the big one, you get all this from US 9 till US 15, and if you buy the whole set, you get all of them. But I decided I don't have to buy the big, the whole set, because I have much needles, much metal needles in the bigger sizes from my early knitting experience, from my early knitting, and I'm totally happy with them. They are Adis, so they are a good quality, so I don't need the bigger needle sizes. But for those, was very important to have them, and I'm very happy because knitting with them is so easy and it's going so fast, and color work is no problem, and lace is also no problem. I experienced it with older project, and yeah, so very happy to show them. And that was it from my side, and I'm saying again, knit switch.
Last but not least, acquisitions for the sock fun. I'm sure what I will knit next, and that I will show you. I got a box from you, Julia, from Sweden, and I will show you what's in there in a moment. This little box I already opened, and I haven't shown you everything what was inside. I was so surprised and so amazed about these beautiful things I got from Julia, and I made a little video, and Julia, who is doing all the technical stuff, because I'm just not, yes, I can't do that. She's doing every editing thing you see on the video. And she will hopefully put the video I made while opening this package, put it on the end of the episode. So, what I got from her, and it's so great. Where shall I start? I start there. Where is it? I got some really fun and awesome stitch markers, and they are just funny. I love them. They're great. They make you smile hard while knitting. I love that. That's great. And you definitely can't have too much stitch markers, because I'm always looking for them, and yeah, like you saw, sometimes you need about 10, sometimes you need just 2. So stitch markers, awesome. The next thing I got from her, so beautiful, yarn, forward box yarn, and it's a silk blend, merino silk blend, and the colorway is Once. It's just so beautiful, and with that she sent me a second, oops, the notes, second one, that was Fino, Mano del Uruguay. Yes, it's a single. That's a single. That's not a single. Whoop. Oh, just on the ground. Not a problem. And yes, you are right, they work perfectly together, and I will think about a shawl or something, because it's a silk blend and that's just perfect for me, because Julia knows I have a very sensitive skin and I'm working on that kind of as I could, and they're just beautiful. That's the one thing I got from her. And the second thing I got, I really love it, it's cotton. And Julia knows I'm not the biggest fan of cotton, but the thing is, and I really love that about her, she is so mindful and thinks, yeah, just so mindful, I can't say something else. It's from Göteborg. It's a yarn that you just can get from where she is. I'm so sorry. And that's just the best thing about it. And I will think of something fun to knit with. Maybe something, a little toy, a baby toy, or maybe a baby blanket, or I'm not sure. I like the colors, they're so fun. And yay, so thank you a lot. It was just the best thing, because getting yarn from somewhere you are not and that you can't get that easy, that's just nice to have it. So thank you so much. I got a lot of fun cards. Yeah, of course, because I have to do that every day. I love this card too, because it's just, they're so cute. And yes, cats, you know, there are never too many cat cards. I also got a cup from her, but I forgot it in the kitchen, so I can't show it to you. And I had tea in it, but I love it. And it's, I drink tea all the time out of it, Julia. And I'm always thinking of you when I do so that's perfect. That's just perfect. Of course, because I'm a teacher, I need a pencil. Shup, shup. And there is a flamingo, because flamingos are pink birds, and pink birds are just fun birds. If you can be a pink bird, be a flamingo. And of course I got so much washi tape. I can't show you that washi tape because it's where I'm using my washi tape, and it's not in this room. I'm already using it up and down all the time. Perfect gift with cats and yarn and school supplies, and just so much fun. And stickers, because stickers making your life just more fun. Washi tape and stickers. And I got another package just, I think, 2 weeks ago. I already had that the last time I recorded and forgot to show you. I'm so sorry. And then I got another package, and it was this skein of yarn. Julia talked about it last time on the podcast, and she said she had some yarn for me, but she can show me. It was this skein of yarn. And it's from Mandusana. She already talked about it. It's a sock yarn. And I love red. It's my favorite color. She knows that. And the perfect thing is, I was thinking, yes, red is my favorite color, and it's so great of you to think about me with this yarn. And then I saw the name of the yarn, and it's called Ron. Yay! For my Buzzsaw socks this year, I will definitely knit socks with Ron yarn, and I will knit, I already got the pattern for the Clark socks. I'm kind of sure you know the pattern. I don't know the designer yet, but maybe I'll put it in the show notes, or you will see it next time when I've casted it on. Then you will see some Clark socks in this colorway, and I think this will be perfect. I hope so, because yes, Ron socks, Clark socks, perfect. That was yarn. What happened? My battery, just finished the job before I was finished. I'm so sorry, but I had time to get the cup I got from Julia, so I have to show you this one too. And that's what I just wanted to say. I'm so thankful and so happy for everything you sent me, Julia, and I'm so amazed, and you're so thoughtful, and I'm not sure what I said before, and yeah, I'm just I'm so looking forward to see you soon, and talk with you about knitting from person to person and not only on the headphones, and yes, just to see you and do fun stuff in Göteborg. I'm so looking forward to come to you soon. Yarn I got from Julia from Sweden. So amazing. And I'm kind of on a yarn diet, so I'm not allowed to buy yarn for myself. That's why Julia sent me some yarn. But I am allowed to buy stuff for other people because I'm knitting stuff for them as a gift. So I need yarn. That's why I bought some yarn. I got beautiful, and it's a little bit darker now. I hope you can see me still, but yeah, sorry. Change of light in such a short notice. I got some cashmere blend for a dear friend of mine who has also very sensitive skin, and she wanted some mittens in black and grey. So I got some gradient yarn from Lana Grossa. It's cashmere fine, and I will talk about the yarn more when I've knitted with it, but just wanted to show you my acquisitions. Next thing is just a black yarn. That's Loki, by the way. He wants some food and attention. And that's Ashford 4-ply, just black yarn for awesome mittens, because dragons, you will see more of them in the future, in the near future. And then I'm going to knit, you maybe remember the bobblehead you've seen. Nein, lass das. No, yarn eating here. Zu bin. Sorry. The bobblehead I've knitted for Julia, and I will knit a bubble cardigan, so with sheeps, in these fun colors. That's a merino nylon blend from Ferner Wolle. It's an Austrian wool company, and it's merino, 75 merino, 25 polyamide, so perfect for a child's cardigan. That's what I'm going to knit. And the thing is, I will do my first sticking project with this yarn, and I have to say, although it's perfect for children, it's not perfect. It's also superwash, so perfect. It's not perfect for sticking, because for sticking you should use yarn. Also, it's not perfect for colorway. For sticking you should use yarn that is a little bit more sticky, so not as smooth as merino, and also not superwash, because when you stick, what's sticking? You're knitting color work in the round. You're leaving some stitches in the middle, like about 6 stitches for a panel, and on this panel, on these 6 stitches, you will cut your knitting open. And when you do that, a very rough wool, will hold the stitches together by itself, so you won't have the problem that it just would fall apart. Nein! He didn't do that before. Just making a show for you guys. With merino and with superwash, you have to be prepared. Before you cut your knitting open, you have to sew it so that your stitches can't run apart. That's the thing. That's what I'm going to try. That's where I will stick first, and I hope it will work out. I'm so looking forward to knit it, and I hope my little nephew will love this one. I will love knitting it, I'm sure, because sheeps. Yes, I know white sheeps are boring, but maybe there will be a pink-purple sheep somewhere. We will see. That's about acquisitions. I showed you everything there. And then I wanted to talk about my newest rabbit hole. You know why they call it rabbit hole? Because of Alice in Wonderland. When you go down this rabbit hole, you're maybe not coming back from the Wonderland. And my Wonderland, and you can't see the colors as good, I think, as they are, is this beautiful thing. It's my second hand spun ever. And it's awesome. And it's 23 meters. It's not much. It's not enough for anything, but it looks awesome. And it's so amazing because I was invited to come along to the spin brunch from the Austrian Young Club ladies, or from an Austrian knitting community, from a group from the Austrian knitting community, and they just said, yeah, come along, but I said, I don't have fibers, I don't have experience, and most of all, I don't have a knitting wheel, spinning wheel, knitting wheel, spinning wheel. And they said, it doesn't matter, just come along and we will help you out, and you can have some fiber from us, and we'll have some spare fiber we don't use anymore, and we will have some, you can just try out our wheels that you can see if you like them and which one you like more. And I tried out a Sonata and I tried out an Ashford Joy, and it was just great. And honestly, that's not leftover spare fiber, that's a brand new piece of fiber. And I just got this from a very dear friend, and I thank you so much, because it's just, you're so right. You have to like the fiber to like spinning. You have to have fun with the fiber to have fun with spinning. And yeah, I have totally a lot of fun with this fiber. It's just great. Awesome pinkish, purple, whitish merino silk blend. It's so soft. Oh, I could cuddle it the whole time. And it amazes me so much how nice these ladies always are, and I'm just knitting, I'm in the rabbit hole of knitting for about 1 year now, and I started spinning in summer, or just tried it out in summer, and I just know these ladies for about 7 months now, and they're so amazing, they are so nice and heartwarming, and I'm already a part of this community. I really can say that, and that's just because of you ladies, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so looking forward to go with you on the knitting weekend, Wollness-Wochenende, soon. Oh, it will be just great. Just have a whole weekend with you and to knit together, to talk about knitting, to talk about everything. It's not at all about knitting when we come together, and it just amazes me how fast I was taken in this community, and it's kind of exquisite and also very inclusive, and that's so nice and so great. And that's what I love most about, yes, our knitting community, not only in Vienna, just everywhere. I can see it everywhere around the world. It's just great. It amazes me every day. And that's why I love this hobby, and it's just that why I love it so much. And I'm really looking forward to do another knit along with you guys. There will be another knit along for sure. We will talk about it. And yeah, till then, I hope I will have a lot to talk about the next time when I see you again. Please visit our Reverie group and say hello. That would be so nice. And if you like our little podcast, give us a thumbs up. That would be great too. And if you have some questions, just ask along. We will love to answer all of them as we can. And till then, have a nice week, have a nice evening, and happy knitting. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you for your time you spent with us. And if you want to find us on the interwebs, I'm going to insert again where you can find us. And if you like our YouTube channel, please subscribe. And if you have questions or something, write it in the comments below. The show notes you can find in our Reverie group and on www.knittingabroad.com. And if you want to have something to discuss on a podcast because you're interested in a review of it, please feel free to ask. And I hope in the next episode I can show you again a little visit of another yarn shop in Göteborg. Yeah, so that was it from me, and goodbye and happy knitting!
I'll be gone for now, but you can still hear the sound of my voice.
I got here a package from Julia from Sweden. We will have a look inside now. Do it together. Oh. Okay. Wie heißen die? So cute! It's a cat. Oh, and it's yarn! It's everywhere yarn. Okay, okay. One after the other. What's standing here? Oh, okay. Because I'm very sensitive with my skin. She sent something. Oh my god! Oh, beautiful! It's so squishy. It's great. And it's merino silk from Petra. Oh, so beautiful. And another one. Oh, there's also silk, I guess. Yes, also with silk. And it looks beautiful together. Not sure if you can see it. And a green one. Oh, cool. Ah, beautiful. From Göteborg. So, Swedish wool. Awesome! Yay! Fun stitch marker, because you can never have enough stitch markers. Very, very funny, cute. Oh, I love this one. My favorite, I guess. Okay, what's in there? Of course, because you can never have too much washi tape. Washi tape is just... You can never have too much washi tape.
That's too much.
No. Not for me. Washi tape. Because I don't have enough washi tape yet. Kind of. School is starting, so I need... Can you see it? Oh. I'm not sure. Sorry.
Like the hunting.
Does it work? It's a flamingo. Flamingo pencil. Yeah, no. Okay. Flamingo pencil. And of course, it's important. Some fun stickers, because for bullet journal and for as a teacher, you can never have too much stickers. What's there? Oh, another. Definitely will do. Perfect. Awesome. Last but not least, yeah. Not sure if I will take it to school because it's just too precious. Wie heißen die?
Sloth.
Sloths. I love them. They're cute. Perfect. Very happy face. Thank you, Julia.